I don't know, between work and play. I don't know what to do. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lephang, but you'll get to simply know me as Elle of this very channel called ThroughEllesEyes. Welcome to each and every single person who has tuned into ThroughEllesEyes. If you're new, a warm hearty welcome to you. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click on that subscribe button down below and make sure that you go a step further and click on the bell icon so that you can get notifications about future videos that come from this particular space from me to you. So let's get straight into today's topic. I'm sounding a little sprightly, as I always am, but I needed to amp myself up because deep down within Pagati inside there's an owl who's very tired. So to the topic that I'm going to be chatting about, year-end fatigue. It's hectic, and I'm hoping to give you a few tips that will help you fend off the year-end fatigue that you are feeling. I don't know about you, but I felt like my fatigue kind of set in at the end of September towards early October. It's different to all the other years, but I think it's a combination of, you know, all the developments that have been happening with with COVID-19, the pandemic, and living in the times that we are currently experiencing. We're constantly online. I don't want to, like, my work is hectic in the sense that we are always online, always in meetings, and have meetings that should have been emails but ended up being meetings in any case. And I think the difference is, if we were in the office, which I think a lot of people are probably working towards in the new year, those corridor conversations help a lot with our colleagues, because you have a conversation, you get something out of the way. But now everybody's just trying to find time in people's schedules so that they can sit down and chat about things that could have turned into email. But another thing is that telephonic conversations really help a lot, because a lot can be lost in translation when things are written, because we interpret things differently, right? But yeah, like, as I was saying, my fatigue set in towards the end of September, and I really felt like, in other years I would be probably tired in the early days of December, because it's like we're clawing towards, or on our way towards the year end, and you can see the finish line in sight. But I'm hoping that this video would really help you with ideas that would help you claw your way through the end of the year. We've got several weeks left, and I must say it really took a while for me to record this video. I had this idea because I was really feeling tired, and I thought that would be great to share ideas and concepts that would help people get through what we are feeling. And I could see, even on the social, people are like, no guys, I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling some type of way. And I was like, I'm also feeling like that. So this has been in the making, but because of the fatigue and me putting it off because I'd rather take a nap instead of sitting in front of the camera, I'm sorry, I have to be honest, I was like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow came, I'm like, no, I'm super tired. And then I'm juggling all these balls that are up in the air, and I don't want one to drop. But here I am sitting now. So let's go into the tips that I can share with you, and probably will be sharing examples of how I do it with you. And I'm happy to hear what you are doing to fend off that year-end fatigue. So let's get straight into it. Now, the first tip is creating a realistic schedule. I know it's often in our nature, I don't know about you guys, but my nature to try and pack in a lot of things into one day. But I think we need to be realistic and not overcommit to things that we can't possibly do. That if you do that, that is a very quick way to feel like you're burning out. And I don't know if I've mentioned it on this platform, but I am a note taker of note, pun intended. I have books for days where I document, like I've got my 3 choir here, and I've got another notepad that I carry with me everywhere with my notes and sticky notes, you know. Make sure that I put everything into one central place so that I can refer to it if I need to go into and prioritize the work that I need to do in a day. And sometimes we have to extend grace to ourselves, because not everything can be done in a day. And I think that because we are so tired, you need to be in a certain frame of mind to actually execute certain things. So if you are supposed to be doing a project that requires you to really apply yourself and you're really feeling tired, I think it's also a matter of managing expectations with the people that you work with or engage with on the things that you have to partner on, and say, no, can you please just extend a little bit of grace and extend the deadline. If I promised it to you today, can I give it to you tomorrow? And we can work around that, because sometimes we overcommit, but it also just compromises the quality of the work that we do. And sometimes it's really, not sometimes, all the time, it's really about the quality more than the quantity, because you can churn out the work, right? Anyone can do that if they put their minds to it. Put everything out and get it out of the way, but you have to look at the quality at the end of the day. And so I think it's just prioritizing the work that you have and making sure that you kind of factor in what the focus time. And it's quite difficult, I can imagine, for a lot of people, because like I said prior, we're always in meetings and there's little focus time. But if you can plan your day accordingly and make sure that you sit down and jot everything down. And I've also made I've noted something, that sometimes we think that the conversations that we have with people, you remember all the things that you're supposed to deliver on, all the things that you have to do for yourself. But like, you are so tired that you can't even remember the small details. So it just helps that when you write things down and you spread things out according to the time that you have, factor in the meetings and everything that you have to do, and balance between personal and professional life, it will go a long way. Now, the second one is my favorite. Dedicate time to sleep. You need to devote at least between 7 to 9 hours, because if you're deprived of sleep, then you can't get enough energy to execute what you need to do. And then you're tired. It's just as simple as that. Let's try and get enough sleep. I know for me, it's very ironic that I mention sleep, because I'd come out of the workday, probably go and exercise, which I'll talk about a bit later on. And then in the evening, spend time with my family and crack those books, cross night, and then have probably like 4 to 3 hours of sleep, or 3 to 4 hours of sleep, and then wake up to get started with the work. My work day. But I think it's also important, when you hear your body saying, bruh, I'm tired, to also take time out to sleep, and during the day to walk around and get some fresh air, because that helps a great deal with just getting, fresh air and not being constantly looking at your screen. So I would definitely recommend that you need to prioritize sleep and off-screen time. The next one is one of my favorites, because I love drinking water. Let's hydrate. I think it's very important that you try and drink a lot of water as possible, because it's really beneficial to your entire system. For me, I cut down quite a lot on fizzy drinks and alcohol. It was a conscious decision that I really took for my own health. I really wanted to see a difference in my weight loss, which I'll probably make a video about, but that's not the topic right now. Drink your water. Make sure that you hydrate, because we spend a lot of time drinking coffee, which leaves us dehydrated, and other things that really don't allow for oxygen to flow in our body. So let's try and hydrate with drinking your H2O. Now, the next tip is really linked to you are what you eat, because you'll feel quite sluggish if you don't eat the right foods for your system. I'm a culprit of this, because some days I would really wake up energetic, start working, and by the time you know it, it's probably like 11 o'clock, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't have breakfast, so I have brunch. And then you get pulled into a meeting, and yeah, time flies. You don't have lunch. But I think the best way to combat this is to make sure that when you're preparing dinner, to factor in time to prepare your lunch. I really have had trouble with making sure that I eat my breakfast, lunch, and with that, I run the risk of nibbling on the wrong foods. So it would be like, the healthiest snack that I would really reach out for would be my peanuts and raisins. But if I don't have that at my disposal, it's easy for you to go for a packet of chips, and that does not have any nutritional value. So go for those power foods that would help you feel very healthy and are quite filling. I would suggest your vegetables for sure. Make sure that if you want to snack, go for a fruit instead of a packet of chips. I know it's hard, but you know, and the thing is, food preps take a lot of time, and that's why I suggested that if you are planning on getting a meal, you know, into your schedule, just make sure that you prepare it the day before, and then you know that meal preps are out of the way. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, we found ourselves sitting in meetings and we can't even have that 30 minutes of preparing the food, because it's different when you're at home, which I'm still working from home. When you're at home, you have to prepare the food for yourself, whereas if you were at your place of work, there would be a canteen. You pop by and you get the food dished up for you and off you go. Like, it's so easy also that when you're at home, you go onto your food ordering or food delivery app, and the option to go for would be fast food, which are not great also for the waistline and leave your mind feeling very sluggish. And last but not least is the implementation of a self-care plan. Now, in our quest to really fulfill what we need to do for the work that we do and other activities, we could easily lose sight of our physical and emotional needs. And let's try and prioritize self-care, because if you sharpen the saw and you take care of yourself, it becomes so much easier for you to pour in other areas of your life. So it's simple things like listening to the music, taking a hot bath, and also meditating, or interacting and catching up with family members and friends. But what self-care looks like for me is that I don't compromise on going to the gym. I go to the gym religiously on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings. So on Tuesday and Thursday, I go in the evening, so 5:30. I connect with my crew for boot camp, and then on Saturdays it's at 6 a.m. because we are fast approaching summer on this side of the world, so mornings are much more warmer and the sun comes out much more earlier, so it gives us enough time to start exercising while there's that, you know, morning breeze. And by 7 o'clock or 7:30 I'm done, and I know that I feel very great about myself. It's just an energy booster of note. I think for me it just helped me also detach from I find time for myself, because I'm constantly with my boys. I find time for myself, I get to interact with other people, and I feel energetic and I look good, because from where I was when the year began, because of the lockdown gains, guys, terrible. I am in a better space, just physically, emotionally, and you know, all round. Exercising really just helps my mind and body to be in the best place possible. And that's it from me to you. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you've got any comments and tips on how you are combating year-end fatigue, I'd love to hear all about it from you in the comment section below. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Please share it with people who might enjoy this content. I'd really appreciate that. And for those who are new and have not subscribed to ThroughEllesEyes, I'll remind you again, click on that subscribe button down below, and then go a step further by clicking on that notification bell so that you can get notifications about future videos that come from this particular channel through to you. That's it from my end. Keep well. Love out.